Hello, it's your Uncle Spurt here, and today we're having a good old squint at the REDMAGIC Astra Gaming Tablet. A 9-inch monster that you can whip out and play with in public without actually ending up on Crime Watch. You've got Snapdragon 8 Elite smarts, customizable cooling tech, and all kinds of clever bollocks gaming features. I've been having a go on it for just over a week now, so here's my REDMAGIC Astra Gaming Tablet review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe. Ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So let's begin with what's actually in the box besides, of course, the tablet. And it's pretty simple stuff really. You've got the usual bright red Type-C USB cable and a couple of wee REDMAGIC stickers, and that's your lot. So first up, the REDMAGIC Astra is pretty compact as far as tablets go. You've got a reasonably dinky 9-inch display, and as you can see there, very skinny bezels surrounding it. Which means, yes, you do have to be careful when clutching the Astra one-handed, because sometimes your thumb and palm flab can kind of intrude on that display, bulk up the responsiveness. And personally, I found you're best off either clutching it in portrait mode, like so, or else use the old pinky as a sort of resting shelf. But this tablet's only 370 grams, so nice and lightweight, perfectly comfortable to clutch one-handed for hours at a time, and super skinny as you can see there as well, just 7.3 millimeters thick. And it's pretty tough stuff as well. You've got a full metal jacket which stretches right across that rear end and around the edges. Available in a couple of different colors, black or silver basically. As you can see, they're matte finish, but also does tend to get quite scuffy, quite greasy. I swear I haven't consumed a single KFC Family Feast bucket while playing on this thing. This is just for my natural finger oil. So you'll have to regularly buff it up if you don't want it looking all minging, but overall a pretty sleek looking tablet and reasonably tough, even if there's no IP rated for water and dust resistance. Manufacturer Nubia loves a transparent window so you can see the internal bits. You've got a good bit of Snapdragon 8 Elite branding action on the go there. But what I really love about this camera bar is the fact that it's pretty much completely flush with the surface of the tab. So just like the phones, that completely flat rear end means bugger all jiggle action when you align this thing on a desk or a table or whatever. And when you want to get gaming on the Astra, well, you've got a fingerprint sensor built into that edge-mounted power button, which as you can see there, not the most responsive, but it's fairly dependable at least. And that is also backed by a wee bit of face unlock as well. And then if you're already a RedMagic fan, you'll know what to expect here. RedMagicOS version 10 slapped on top of Android 15. And both the black and the silver models offer a choice of 256 or 512 gigs of storage, while this here black model also comes in a 1TB flavor. That's the version I've got here for my review model. And RedMagicOS, fairly unremarkable as far as launchers go. You've got a few extra bonus bits stuffed in here like RedMagic AI, a bit of translation shenanigans, etc. And naturally you can customize the RGB shenanigans, which are actually fairly subtle on this tablet compared with some gaming devices. And basically the fan glows in a pleasing multicolor fashion. You've also got a light up bit of branding here. And you can change the color of that, but it's so dinky you'll be hard pressed to notice much difference. But of course the main feature of RedMagicOS is the game space, which you can leap into face first by flicking this here bright red switch up top in a rather dramatic fashion. And this allows you to jump straight into all your favorite games. Bit of Mahjong, anyone? And you can also fully customize all of the settings for all of your games as well, including the touch sensitivity, bit of accidental touch protection. Can boost the performance for your more demanding titles and also ensure that the GPU is working its bollocks off. And do I even need to say it? Yes, obviously good old Mora is on board as well.
Commander, you have exposed Mora's location.
I haven't exposed anything, Mora, and I will be denying everything to HR. Anyway, yes, this is a thing if you happen to get bored of PUBG or just life in general. Now, if you can actually tear yourself away from Mora's alluring charms and get yourself into a game, well, of course, you've got the swipey outy RedMagic Game Space Toolbar Jobbie. Absolutely 100% the official term for that. And this seems to involve all of the usual gaming features you'll find stuffed onto those RedMagic gaming smartphones, barring of course the shoulder button shenanigans, because having shoulder buttons on a 9-inch tablet would be kind of awkward. But all the stuff you'd expect is packed in here. You can quickly and easily jump between the different gaming modes, set up all your do not disturb shenanigans, record the action, you can slap a crosshair on the screen, all kinds of different cheaty type stuff. And all my favourite features as well, including charge bypass, so you can plug this tablet in if it is running low on juice, but bypass the battery charging so the tablet doesn't overheat while you're gaming. Or at least it's got less chance of overheating anyway. And yes, as you'd hope for a top-end gaming device, providing the performance is Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite, one of the most powerful chipsets around. And that is backed by either 12, 16 or 24 gigs of RAM. 24 gigs only available in this here black model, and again that is what I've got stuffed inside of my review version. Because my expectation levels were pretty high, because I've tested plenty of Snapdragon 8 Elite smartphones and they've certainly never soiled themselves with the most demanding titles out there. So I slapped the Astra tablet into Rise mode, I cleared the memory, and then I got stuck into a solid bit of Wuthering Waves to really test out its mettle. Now, to help control the heat situation, Nubia has stuffed a dual vapor chamber into this tablet, along with some liquid metal cooling and that classic RedMagic staple, the built-in fan, to help push out all that pesky hot air. But despite all of this, I have found that this tablet does get rather toasty up here at the top end where that chipset is housed. In fact, that surface got uncomfortably hot just 5 minutes into pretty much all of my Wuthering Waves gaming sessions. Although thankfully the area of the tablet that I was clutching, if I was using the touchscreen controls, didn't really heat up. I didn't have singed fingertips or anything like that. About an hour into my Wuthering Waves sessions, the temperature did seem to drop a little bit. It was rare for me to have seen any juddering or other ill effects. However, in one of my longer Wuthering Waves gaming sessions, the temperature did seem to creep up again when I hit the 2-hour mark, and that frame rate did noticeably drop on a handful of occasions. And that was quite surprising, especially considering I hadn't seen any such ill effects on the RedMagic gaming smartphones that I tested out. But still, this wee grumble aside, the overall gaming experience was still excellent. For the vast majority of my gaming time on Wuthering Waves, the frame rate was perfectly smooth. Those graphics looked absolutely stunning. I had maxed out all of the visual settings. And that touchscreen was beautifully responsive as well, just like the RedMagic gaming phones, and of course completely customizable. And of course lighter fare like Call of Duty Mobile played absolutely perfectly on the highest graphics settings. Frame rate consistently smooth throughout, and certainly didn't make the Astra tablet quite so burny. I found my thumbs were tripping over themselves using the touchscreen controls with COD, so I mostly played with the controller hooked up, absolutely no issues there either. As for that display, well, it's a 9-inch OLED slapped here on the front end of the Astra, unlike the old Nova tablet. And this screen doesn't apparently support HDR streaming in services like Netflix, but I certainly found the contrast was impeccable while gaming on the likes of Wuthering Waves. Got deep blacks, crispy whites, a nice poppy colour reproduction as well. And the screen is just about bright enough so you can get gaming outdoors as well, as long as you don't have sunlight reflecting directly off that shiny surface. And as with those RedMagic gaming smartphones, it is a full view experience as well, no notches or selfie cam orifices. But that's not because you've got an under display selfie cam, it's simply because the selfie cam is super dinky and stuffed away in that top bezel. And that refresh rate maxes out at 165 Hz for supported titles as well. There's a handful out there on the Google Play Store. Wuthering Waves, sadly, not one of them. You got yourself a stereo speaker setup here on the RedMagic Astra tablet. Those speakers actually housed here on the left and right edges when you're clutching the tablet in landscape mode. So that audio not pumped directly at your face, but you still get a pretty decent stereo effect from it, and I never found that my hands got in the way when clutching this tab. Didn't muffle that audio.
I still have much experiment data to process.
Shut up, you. Nice and loud when you boost up that volume. The audio nice and crispy. You can certainly hear the footsteps of any cheeky wee gits creeping up on you in Call of Duty. Streaming to Bluetooth, headphones or earbuds, absolutely perfect, no issues there. You got DTS:X Ultra support, just as with the phones. And also on the audio front, that fan right there, going full pelt right now, absolutely whisper quiet, even more quiet than on the gaming smartphones. I have to literally stuff this thing right up against my head, and I can just about hear it whirring away in there. But then I guess that's probably part of the overheating problem, is that fan's too dinky to really have much impact. Maybe a larger, slightly noisier fan would have actually been a better idea. And of course, one of the advantages of a gaming tablet over a gaming smartphone is you've generally got a bigger battery although it also has a bigger screen to power, etc, but hey-ho. And in the case of the RedMagic Astra Gaming Tablet, it's an 8200 mAh capacity cell. That's not bad at all for a more compact tablet. Of course, I did find that on the likes of Wuthering Waves, it didn't exactly last particularly long, especially with all those visual settings bumped all the way up. I found that even with a fully charged battery, the Astra Gaming Tablet was completely drained just over 4 hours. Of course, if you are just playing more optimized titles like Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG, etc, you get a lot longer out of a full charge. We're talking closer to 10 hours of action. And the good news is, if you do need to give it a quick boost before heading out, you've got 80 watt wide charging support. So even though it's quite a large capacity battery, it doesn't take too long to fill up. Put a cable in there for an hour and you'll be mostly fully juiced. And then last up, the camera tech, and you've got yourself a 9 megapixel front-facing selfie shooter here on the RedMagic Astra Gaming Tablet. Normally the selfie shooters on RedMagic devices are pretty cack because they're under display efforts. Of course, you've got no such excuse here on the Astra Gaming Tablet because it's buried in that bezel instead, but still not very good at all. Those visuals generally quite washed out. Not a big fan of HDR type scenarios either. You know, it'll be fine if you are just doing a bit of simple video chatting or something, but you might want to upgrade to something a bit better if you are going to be doing a bit of the old Twitch streaming, if twitching is still a thing. And around the back end of the RedMagic Astra Gaming Tablet, you've also got yourself a basic 13 megapixel shooter there for reasons which I can't actually think of any right now. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a tasty wee nutshell is the fresh new RedMagic Astra Gaming Tablet. 9 inches of pure fun. Unless you're playing the likes of Wuthering Waves for over 2 hours, in which case things do get rather hot and sweaty. So what do you guys reckon? Are you tempted by the RedMagic Astra? It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do check out my reviews of other RedMagic gaming smartphones, which I'm a massive fan of. There's already been like 3 new ones in 2025. They were absolutely pumping those things out. In the meantime, please do box subscribe, ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.